In this video, my 1+ year review and experience with the AR Blue Clean 675 Pro electric pressure washer, right after the intro. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Turner Mobile Detailing, and thank you for watching. So about a year ago, I put out a video, a little over a year ago, on my initial impressions of my brand new electric pressure washer, my AR Blue Clean 675 Pro that you see here to my right. I bought it last January, which would have been January 2022, and it is now late March 2023, so it's been about 14-15 months since I purchased this unit, and I've been working with it almost every day. I'd say around 4 to 5 days a week over the last 15 months or so, and my overall impressions are very, very good. Now, I apologize for not getting this video sooner, but I did have a few small little issues with the machine that I wanted to take care of and even educate myself about before I made this video, so that I could share them with you, share those experiences with you. First, I want to say though that my overall impressions have been very good. It's got some little quirks that most, if not all, electric pressure washers have, like when you first use it, when it's cold, the motor is cold, it kind of wants to continually pressurize itself. The motor wants to just kind of warm itself up a little bit before it gives you full pressure constantly. But other than that, I'd say you run it for a few seconds, 30 seconds, let it repressurize, let off the trigger a few times. You'll kind of learn it as you go. Every machine's a little bit different, but after about, I'd say 30 seconds to a minute of that process, you should be good to go for the rest of the project, rest of your job. That's really just the warm-up process for any electric pressure washer. Other than that, it's pretty typical. It works really well. It's been very, very reliable for me, and it has not let me down whatsoever. The couple little things that I want to talk to you about that I had to take care of, really you could categorize them as general maintenance, I guess. But so about a month and a half to 2 months ago, all of a sudden the machine would not turn on. Normally, if the machine was not getting enough power, it would kind of just buzz, and you had to play with the GFI. This is actually the original GFI, so you had to play with the reset button on there to get it to pop on, and that was really indicative of not having enough power for whatever reason. Since this thing draws close to 15 amps, about between 14 and 15 amps, it really requires, or it's been most beneficial to have a dedicated electrical line. So if you're a mobile detailer like myself, or if you are a weekend warrior, and you're not planning on using this machine on a professional level, but just want something good and reliable to use on the weekend at your home, you're going to want, if you can, have a dedicated electrical line or electrical outlet, especially if your electrical service to your home or the home that you're working at or wherever you're working is a 15 amp service. That 15 amps is mostly going to be required to run this machine, and if you have other things on that circuit, then it's going to diminish the ability of that circuit to power this machine. It's going to put more strain on the GFI, on the machine itself. So I recommend, if you can, unplug other things so you can have as much of that circuit dedicated to running this machine. Now, AR Blue Clean recommends that you run only the electrical cord to the outlet. You don't use an extension cord. That's why they give you a nice long cord. It's about 20 feet. Now, the problem, again, with myself, or if you're using it at your home, sometimes I don't have an electrical outlet within 20 feet of where I have to put my machine, so I have to use an extension cord. They recommend, if that is absolutely necessary, use, I believe it's no longer than 25 foot and 12 gauge or lower, thicker. So that will help reduce the strain on the inline GFCI. But whenever at all possible, you should use the factory cord with no extension cord, because again, you don't want to stress out your GFI. And again, because sometimes I have to use an extension cord over time, it blew my GFCI that came with the machine. This is the original unit again. You can see it's snipped off, and I'll explain that in a minute. But the reason why my machine wouldn't turn on Again, it wasn't even buzzing, so that tells me that power wasn't even getting to the machine, not even getting to the unit. So that told me that the problem had to be somewhere before the unit in line. So I checked my GFCI, and normally when you reset it or when you turn it on, the little LED light indicator will turn green, and that was not even turning green. At first it was like very dim, and then it totally went dead altogether. So stressing this out totally fried it, totally killed it. So if that does happen to you and you fry your GFCI, you can easily replace it. The GFCI is very easy to replace. Now I recommend something like this. I got this at Home Depot. I'll leave a link in the description below for you. It was about $22, but again, very easy to rewire. You basically just cut off the old GFCI. You don't need to take it apart. You just cut it off right before right as the wire goes into the unit, and then you rewire it. It's, even if you're not an electrician, I'm not an electrician, but it's very easy. It's very basic wiring. There's instructions with the new GFCI on how to rewire it, and I would recommend a unit like this that has a tail coming out the back of the GFCI. This, you can see it does not. You can see the difference. This has the plugs, the 3 prongs right on the back of the GFCI, and this has the tail, and of course you want the 3 prong, you want the grounded plug. And the reason you want a tail is because a lot of times when you're working at a customer's home or at your own home, you're plugging into an outdoor outlet source, and they have those protective shells over them, those casings, those plastic protection casings that you have to open up in order to access the outlet. And these things, it's very hard sometimes to fit them in there. You have to finagle them in there or bend the cord at a really acute angle to get it to fit in there in order to plug into it. But this, obviously you're not going to have that problem because this is far back, is about 6-8 inches back from your plug. You just plug this right into the outlet. No muss, no fuss, no problems. So again, it's a very easy fix. If you have that problem with your the electrical in your unit, it's not turning over, no power, probably a GFCI. I recommend an item like this. And again, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now the other small little issue that I had with the machine was, this is even more of just a general maintenance issue more than anything else, more than the electrical problem that I just told you about, is that the machine was cycling, on-off cycling. It's a common issue with electrical pressure washers. When the machine is not in use, it'll just keep on going and cycling and turning on and off, on and off, on and off. As you can see here, you can hear the machine just kicking on. I'm not pressing the trigger at all. It's just repressurizing, repriming the line. You can see the little gauge kicking on and off, on and off, on and off. And really the cause of this is a leak somewhere. See, your pressure washer is designed to be a closed system, and it pressurizes itself and it wants to hold that pressure. And if it has a leak somewhere, that means it's losing pressure. So the pressurizer mechanism inside the unit that tells it to repressurize itself when it loses pressure, like when you press the trigger gun and you use it, obviously that depressurizes the line, and then when you let off the gun, it will repressurize itself and then shut off, or I should say finish repressurizing itself and then shut off. And when you have a leak, that's the same as pressing the gun. It's depressurizing the line, and it continually wants to cycle or reprime the line, and the bigger the leak, the faster the cycling is going to happen. In the clip I just showed you, it was cycling every 5 to 10 seconds. It's not necessarily going to hurt your machine. It may long term, if you continue to let it go like that. It's obviously going to put more wear and tear on the unit and the parts that prime the motor, and the motor kicking on and off, on and off. So you want to avoid that, obviously. It's a very easy fix. You want to check all your orifices, all the outlets in the machine for leaks. In this case, my leak was in the outlet port. The male end adapter, quick connect adapter that connects to my outlet hose, was leaking. And the only reason for that really was just wear and tear. You can see that the Teflon tape, I had already stripped most of it off, but prior to making this video, but you can see there's still some left. When I originally inspected the connection, it was pretty worn. It was all but gone. So really it's just a matter of replacing the Teflon sealer tape, made really specifically for water joints. I particularly like Oatly Fast Tape. I think it's a really good tape for sealing water joints, and it's $3 or $4. Home Depot. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below for this stuff. Now, something to remember with this stuff is that when you're wrapping a joint or when you're wrapping a connection, you want to wrap it in the same direction that you're going to be turning the threads. So if you're wrapping a clockwise connection like these are, you're going to want to wrap the tape in the same direction, clockwise, and vice versa. Otherwise, when you finish wrapping the threads and when you break the tape off, the edge of the tape is going to be facing against the direction or against the grain that you're going to be turning your female connector in. So you could potentially catch that edge with your female fitting and peel back that edge and create a lump or a high spot in your connection, and thus creating maybe a possible gap. Now, it would be a very, very, very small gap, but when you're talking about water or air, even the tiniest of gaps could lead to leaks. As we showed before, even a small leak can lead to pressure washer cycling and extra wear and tear on your machine. So you don't want to compromise the seal that you're trying to create with the Teflon sealer tape. So just a little tip, always wrap your Teflon tape in the same direction that your threads are going, the same direction that you're going to be turning your female connector onto your male connector. In this case, it's clockwise, and do vice versa if your threads are counterclockwise. So it's really as simple as that. I put the male end adapter back on, reconnect my outlet pressure hose, and then turn the unit back on, allow the system to repressurize itself, and we look at it now and there's no leaks, and we look at it for a second and it's not cycling, it's not turning on and off. So that was a pretty easy fix. Now my machine is going to wear itself out. It's not going to annoy me to death while I'm working on a car that's going to keep cycling on and off, on and off, and on and off, and I have to keep going back to the machine to turn it on and off to prevent it from either wearing itself out or annoying me to death. So other than those two little fixes, mostly maintenance type things, no major issues with the machine. I want to say that customer service has been top-notch with these guys. I'll leave a phone number in the description below where you can call customer service directly and actually talk to a person and not an answering machine or a directory where you have to press a bunch of numbers to get to an actual person. The GFCI issue, I forget his name, but I talked to somebody directly in the maintenance shop. Was it Wisconsin, or I think it was Wisconsin, maybe Minnesota, one of those northern Midwest states up there where they have a North American headquarters. He actually sent me out a used GFCI, but I needed one right away, so I just went out and bought my own at Home Depot, and then when the one he sent me came in, I just put it on the shelf. I have an extra one if I ever need it. But bottom line, the customer service was really, really good. Several questions I've asked them online through their online chat resource. I'll send them a question and they usually get back to me within a day or two, a pretty detailed answer. Stay tuned to this channel. I'm going to be coming out with another video very soon on how to change the oil on this thing. This thing is due for an oil change. That's the only really thing that they recommend doing as a regular maintenance on this machine is oil. As long as it's 30 weight non-detergent oil, you can get the oil right from them, their crankcase oil. So again, stay tuned for that video. That'll be coming out soon. But anyway, again, my overall impressions on this machine over the last 15 months or so have been very, very good. Now, the only other thing that I want to highlight is the cart that this thing is mounted to. You can see that it's mounted to, I forget what it's called. Honestly, I'll put up on the screen here somewhere what it's called. I got it from, I believe, cleanfreak.com. I will, again, leave a link in the description below to where I bought it from. You can get like a 10% coupon from them if you chat with them and ask them, you know, do you have any coupons or sales going on, and they'll probably offer you something in order to make the sale right then and there. I think I paid around a little over $100, maybe like $110, something like that for it, and I think it was free shipping, over $100, so I didn't have to pay for shipping, which was good. But this is a nice little compact cart for this machine. As you can see, it clicks on and off. There's a, as I'm showing you right now, there's a, underneath the machine, there's a little mushroom, and it's meant to click into the top or the bed of this machine, of this cart. It works really well. It could be a little tighter, I guess, but it holds it on there really, really well. What I like about it is that I can just unclick the machine really easy and bring it in at night in the wintertime so it doesn't freeze. I don't have to unhook my whole cart and bring the whole cart in. I can just unhook the machine really easy, bring it in, and then in the morning when I'm ready to go, I just come back out and click it back on into the deck where it clicks into, and I'm good to go. I don't have to strap anything in. It holds it nice and tight. It is a little bit short. I wish the handle was a little taller. I'm about 5'10", and when I reach down, I wish that I didn't have to kind of bend over a little bit in order to pull it, in order to use it. I wish I could just walk totally upright and be able to hold it and pull it as I'm moving it around obviously by the wheels. But other than that, I think it's a nice compact little unit. It fits in my van really, really nicely. That is my 15-month or so review on the AR Blue Clean 675 Pro, and also the little cart that you can buy from, well, it's made by AR Blue Clean. You can buy it different places, but it's made specifically for this machine. That's why it clicks in and integrates so nicely. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Most importantly, I hope it educated you and helped you make a good decision as to what kind of machine you're going to buy, or even the maintenance if you already have this machine, and how to perform it and how to keep your machine running really, really well for a long period of time. So again, I'm Seth with Turner Mobile Detailing. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a big fat like right down below. And again, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.